Dr. John back with another edition of A Better You in a Minute or Two, and today's episode is entitled Medi 2, the second in my three-part series covering that incredibly powerful tool for creating change, transformation, and energetic balance. And of course, I speak of meditation. Now, in our last episode, I introduced the elements of meditation and how to do a basic meditation. Today, I'm going to cover some of the varieties or different ways of meditating, because there is more than one way to skin a cat. Now, jumping in, probably the oldest and most widely known form of meditation is simple prayer. When we pray, of course, when most of us pray, we're saying, oh God, please help me, get me out of this jam, and I promise if you do, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll never do it again, please, please, please. That's bargaining, that's not meditating. But when we quiet our minds and connect our spirit to the Creator, to the Great Spirit, in that silence, in that purity of energy, can come great inspiration and guidance and peace of mind. Most people are familiar with the term Transcendental Meditation, or TM. That was made popular in the 60s through the Beatles and Maharishi Yogi. Transcendental Meditation actually requires formal training. You're given a personal mantra, which is a word or short phrase that you learn to use in conjunction with your breathing to transcend the noisiness of everyday consciousness into that blissful state of meditation. If you don't want formal training, but you still want to do a version of TM, there's something called the relaxation response, created by Dr. Herbert Benson in the 70s. He was a Harvard physician. And essentially, it's a variant of TM that doesn't require formal training. You can buy his book. In fact, that basic meditation that I introduced last episode elicits the relaxation response. But it's very effective and very powerful. Most people have heard of Zen meditation, which is associated with Buddhism. And of course, Zen meditation is about creating a perfectly empty mind, free of all thought. Now, it's really fun to practice, and I have found over the years it's very hard to attain that state of mind. Every single time I've ever been able to do it, I get there and I say, and the mind is empty, and I go, I got it. And of course, now you're thinking again. A much more practical, I think, and equally powerful form of meditation, and it's really good for everyday life, is what's called mindfulness meditation, made popular by Jon Kabat-Zinn in this incredible book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. Mindfulness meditation in everyday life, which is what we're doing every day. And the beautiful thing about mindfulness meditation is that it acknowledges that when we meditate, thoughts are going to come in, because they are. So we just acknowledge that they're there, because they are. And then we just let them go. They come in, we acknowledge, and we let them go, without keeping score, without judgment. And when you practice this for a little while, what you find, to your delight, is that the thoughts slow down. They become fewer and fewer in number. And you get more and more mindful, more and more present, more and more clear. And the more mindful and present and actually conscious we are, the more control of our lives we get. A very powerful form of meditation. One of my very favorite forms of meditation is Native American meditation. The Native Americans believe that it's really important to maintain a strong relationship with the natural world. And if you think about it, that makes sense. After all, nature out there, away from civilization, that is our real home. That's where we come from. And the Native Americans believe that every object and every creature is imbued with spirit, that there is a spirit that moves through all things. So when we take ourselves out of the hustle and bustle and noise of our modern world and get ourselves out there into our ancestral home and become part of the landscape in that meditative state, we are connecting to the spirit that moves through all things. It is such a powerful experience, I can't describe it. And when you become part of the landscape because you're so quiet, the wildlife forgets you're there. And you will see things that you never get to see if you just go out hiking and you're going, oh, well, so I called so and then we had this meeting, and then we had blah, 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 which is what most people do. I love Native American meditation. My wife and I do it as much as we possibly can. Another really, really powerful form of meditation, and one that I use with virtually every client I work with, is called dynamic meditation. And essentially, dynamic meditation involves entering that meditative state and then creating the feelings, the energy of a state of being. My clients come to me to change their lives. So when we create the energy of that desired state of being, we are sending that energy out into the universe. Not only that, it feels really good. And of course, the law of attraction kicks in and sends it back. So dynamic meditation is a very powerful way of not only facilitating, but reinforcing and making the creation of change in your life much more efficient. And it happens much more quickly. Finally, there's even a meditative technique called medical meditation, which was introduced by Dr. Dharma Singh Khalsa in this book, Meditation is Medicine. Dr. Khalsa is a very interesting guy. He's both an MD and a yoga guru. And in medical meditation, he combines elements of Kundalini yoga, which is a very powerful form of yoga used for moving and balancing energy throughout all 7 of our energy centers or chakras. He uses elements of Kundalini yoga with meditative techniques to create medical meditation, which can be used to treat a wide variety of physical, emotional, and spiritual behavioral issues. It's a wonderful adjunct to allopathic medicine. I use medical meditation myself, and I often design custom programs for my clients when I think it's appropriate. There are even moving meditations like Tai Chi and Qigong, which are great ways of integrating energetic balance physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, there are many more varieties and techniques for meditation that I just don't have time to get into. The one thing I'm going to leave you with, and this is so important, is that there is no wrong way to meditate, except if you keep score, if you judge yourself. I promise you, there are going to be days when it's amazing, when you feel like you're in another universe, and there are going to be days when you can't get out of your own way. That's just the nature of the beast. The other thing that's so important beyond not judging and not keeping score, and I'm going to say this again and again and again and again, there's a hint, is that in order to reap the benefits of meditation, you must be consistent. You have to do it day after day after day. If you do, I promise you'll be very glad you did. But if you don't, it can't work. So, until next episode, when I'm going to address your comments and answer your questions, so please keep sending them in. Remember one very important thing, and I know you know what I'm going to say. It's all about a better you. See ya.